Hello and welcome to Universal Love Law. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to make a video for you all. And this one is going to be a very sacred video. And I know it might affect people in a strange way, hearing me explain this story. But I guess it's time, for me to just share that, right? So anybody who knows me in real life, I've always been that strange ass friend, right? I could get real cool, and be on surface level mode, but I could also get very deep, right? And a lot of people that know me in a deep way, they know, I've told them, I remember my past lives clearly, right? And so I remember mainly two that were very clear, both female incarnations. And I want to I was enlightened with the knowledge of how to find out this information regarding my past life and validate my most recent past life in your zodiac chart, in your natal chart, right? So just so you guys know, I'll share my most recent past life. I did actually commit the S word. I took myself out, and I know it because as a kid I always would have these memories. I would go into a daydream, and it really was when the certain songs would come on. There's this song, only fools fall in love, but I can't help falling in love with you. That song. There is another song by Elvis Presley that used to come on as well when I was a kid. There's a few songs that snapped me into a trance, and I was too young to have these visions for no reason, right? And it would be very clear to me. I had these just daydream thoughts of a fire chute, which is I was somewhere in either San Francisco or New York or somewhere that has those fire chutes. I was on a building. I jumped out of a window. But I remember very, very clearly, the older I got, as a kid, I would just see the fire chute, right? And then I started seeing the house, the apartment that I was in. It was empty, didn't have any furniture. But I also remember drinking red wine, right? I started getting visions of my race, my gender, all of these things. And then I started getting the pain. So by the time I was 19, my whole vision of my past life kind of revealed itself to me clear based on the state of being that I was in when I did what I did, right? And so I remember losing everything. I didn't have my children. I didn't have my family. I was drinking heavily, and I couldn't take it anymore, and I jumped out the window. And now I remember this very clearly, right, in a vision. Songs would trap me into that, and I was born with a Pisces rising, so I have this dreamy, aloof type of thing that I've had all my life, where I daydream and I'm kind of psychic. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I would see things before it happened. I literally seen my mom fall in a daydream one time cooking, and then later that day, she, I went to her house, and she was all bruised up, and her phone was broke because she fell. And she came to my house earlier, and I said, "Be careful, Mom, just walking, slow down." And then that happened. I was like, wow, it's crazy. But that's one of so many, the list goes on and on, how many times I felt certain things. But I have a Cancer moon, and so I'm gonna explain. First and foremost, I would drink wine in my teenage years, or even in my early 20s, very heavily. But I really, and that was that was like because of my upbringing, right? If it was some liquor there, I was going to drink it as a kid, like, like sneak it and drink it, right? Also, like when I got older and I separated from my children's father, I temporarily didn't have my children with me in college and working, and it spun me down a depression, because as I was working on me getting my life together and getting stable, because when we separated, it was like either he leaves, either I had to leave because I lived with him, so it was either I stay or I leave. But if I left, they would come with me, and I would not really have any stability or anywhere for them to really go. But if they stayed there while I worked on myself, which is ultimately what happened. I was a weekend mom. Then I was able to, still work in my career and, advance like how I've done, and, eventually get an apartment and all those things. But it spun me down such of a depression that I ended up drinking, and I wanted to do that again. Like, I wanted to off myself. Like, I didn't want to do it. So I realized that, wow, you can't run from where you were last at. And I know I'm just now sharing this, but people who know me know I've shared this with them. Like, and that's why I don't really, I guess it was just time for me to reveal certain things, to help people in their journey. But so in my past life, and in this life, I reached about age 21, 22, when my kids were like really young. I had the same experience. I was in the same state of being. I was in the same feeling of my life, and that whole past life memory revealed itself to me, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, what? So I knew I can't do it again in this lifetime. Like, I have a purpose here. And so you look at, to understand these, if you need to. Some people don't need to understand these areas of life, so they don't have planets in these houses, right? Your 4th house energy definitely can help you understand past life, as well as your 12th house energy and your south node and your north node, right? So for me, I felt I was wealthy in my past life. I had it all, but I lost it all, and I couldn't take it. And that's what made me, off myself, right? So in this lifetime, I had it all, my family, everything, and then I lost it all again. And so my moon is in Cancer in the 4th house. So people that come with the moon in Cancer, depending on the aspects to it and the degrees, all those things, may have had a past life of emotional burden and turmoil that came into this lifetime, right? So it was karmic for me. My Cancer moon in the 4th house and my Cancer 4th house made it to where I literally was not raised by my mom or father, right? And then I spent time not being able to raise my own children. This was karmic from my past life of leaving them the way I did. I had to feel the same feeling that I felt in that lifetime, and I had to make up for the karma because I was raised without my mom and dad, and in this lifetime. So the 4th house moon brought the emotional burden since birth. I was left in an apartment with my sister in this lifetime, and my mom was on drugs, and they took us, and I ended up being raised by my great aunt, and she was a lot older, right? She was a Cancer. My great aunt was a Cancer, and she was a lot older, and that speaks volumes because my 4th house and my moon is Cancer, and it's in the 4th house. And she was older, which represents Saturn, and my Saturn is in the 12th house, right? So I didn't have a normal upbringing. I was very spiritual, and I played alone a lot. I was always in solitude my whole life. So now I realize that why, right? So I'm just sharing with you guys something so you can put in perspective how powerful astrology is, So, in my journey, understanding and being aware of myself, I understand now that, Saturn in the 12th house will make a person, it will help a person to understand that they are here to have certain responsibilities, and there are certain restrictions put in areas of life for a reason, for them to discipline themselves in order to understand that area of life and become an authoritative figure in that area. 12th house deals with the collective conscious on a spiritual level. It deals with the subconscious mind, the collective thought, and the individual past life experiences, the past life collective experiences within a large body of people or within the individual soul. And so me having Saturn here, I realized that, I'm here to have an authority placement. Like, I'm here to be someone in this lifetime as far as on a spiritual level. And I know that that is my purpose. It's why I was forced in solitude as a child, and spirits would mess with me, and I just had all these really weird paranormal experiences. I was always drawn to astrology. My Sagittarius Sun and Mars is in the ninth house, so I was really here to evolve my thinking and become cognitively intelligent so I can really bring forth knowledge to the world and to the individuals that I'm here to work with. And to help them heal on a spiritual level these wounds. And so for me, I hope that this information today that I'm sharing is helpful, because I never really shared it. I'm a peace, so nobody with anything that I say, I know is divinely and purposefully given to the world as a gift for an awareness within their own self. Sometimes, astrology can show us so many things, and I discipline myself with integrity in the world of astrology, because I'm not here to just get people's money. Like, when I do readings for people, and anyone that has worked with me, they could attest to it. Like, I go above and beyond. I meet with the person even after the whatever's agreed to within the terms of our working together. Like, I don't end it until it just naturally fades away, as far as the meetings and the reassurance and all of those things, right? So I operate with integrity because I have to. Saturn is in my 12th house, so anything dealing with spirituality that I'm here to learn and be, cut off from the reality world to really discipline in my knowledge, and I'm here to have to uphold a certain standards and conduct, right? So that I lead by example, and that's something that I hold to a high regard. But my past life energy shows in my 4th house. My like I say, my great aunt was a Cancer. She raised me. I'm a Cancer moon in the 4th house. I came with a strong emotional burden and pain that I needed to resolve. So karmically, I chose my great aunt. Because she would give me the solitude, and she agreed to it. She would give me the solitude, which is me cut off from, having a younger parent. It does, you do more things in life. Like, my upbringing, I remember very vividly. I was alone a lot in my back room, just playing dolls and just a lot of spiritual things happening. Every time I did have a fun time or be able to go outside and, be bad and shit like that, that was awesome. But I really didn't, like, my great aunt, she was kind of like strict on us. So I have a certain moral conduct, right? So by the time I reached the age of 12, when my mom fought back for me and I ended up moving in with her, it broke my heart, because all I knew was my Aunt Fifi. Right? So karmically, I had to deal with the pain of not having my mother growing up, all those questions as a kid. This is the same thing that I did to my children in their past life, right? And when I jumped out the window, and then my mom got me back and then put me in through trauma, right? Because she was back on drugs and all these things happened, right? And I was in the projects and things. I was just fighting, and I was just wild, and I was just, all these things. So then, as I approached adulthood, I was like, I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to never, to not have a messed up life. And then I had children. I've did everything in my power to keep my relationship with my ex, right? And didn't work. So now here I am having to I had to sacrifice, right? And make the best decision for my children. And that was to leave them with their father, and I just get them on the weekends while I stayed in school and I taught. And eventually over the years things have changed, thank God. But so I had the experience of not having my mother and father, as well as not having my children in this life. And it was karmic. It was the fourth house Cancer energy that emotional burden and pain that I brought. Now, what's crazy is I don't have any other house placements. I don't have any first house, second house. Oh, my south node is actually in the second house, and my north node is in the eighth house. So this is important too, a key, which I won't really get into detail, but you people who really know astrology could probably put that puzzle piece together on your own. Hey, I'm an open book in some aspects, and so I don't mind, sharing this. I feel like I was divinely guided to share this. And with that, I know I'm divinely protected. So, so overall, I just wanted to share that things happen karmically to us that we can see in the chart. Like I said, I only have planets in my 4th, 8th, 9th, 11th, and 12th house. So I'm here to overcome the karma that I have. Saturn's return is what reveal all of the past life memories I had, right? I also have another past life memory that stuck out very strong to me. As a kid, I used to daydream about living in a small hut in Mexico. In this lifetime, I chose to be like a Mexican lady. And I had a family, I had a husband, I had children, right? And we lived in a hut for years. We were farmers, and I don't remember all the details. I just remember having a son, I think 2 sons and a daughter. I'm not sure, but I know that all my memory so clearly was always of me sweeping. I had a broom that I made. I just knew I made it. I don't know how I knew this, but I made my broom, and I was in my little hut house. And my husband had passed away. My children had moved out, and they were with their own families. And I was so lonely. And I just was sweeping the dust out of my house. And I was just waiting to die. I was like, I don't want to live anymore. This is torturous. I just had the greatest life ever with my husband, my children, and now I'm alone. So that also speaks to the karma of my Cancer moon in the 4th house. Right? And it's Cancer, right? And I was a very traditional Mexican mom. I just remember that lifetime very clearly. I think that was correlated to the life that I had where I committed suicide as well. And so this is why I really appreciate past life regressions and things like that, because I appreciate the science. Some people are really here to stand in their truth on a spiritual level, to give others the confidence to go deep within themselves and not just write it off as that's crazy. I'm pretty sure if people heard me, they would think I'm crazy until they really heard me, or if they really was able to spend time in the flesh with me, they would be able to sense my genuine tone. I've been telling everybody who know me before I was even a teenager, I always said I remember my past life of jumping out a window. I always said that. I remember the fire shoot. I remember it all. And then as I got older, I remember details I was drunk, I was in pain, I lost everyone. And so this keeps haunting me throughout lifetimes, being alone, right? Loneliness and all those things. It was times where I've had the solitude that Saturn in my 12th house has brought me, but it was for me to go within my spirituality, because I'm here to help others. So not only do I have that Sagittarius 9th house where it's higher learning, right? And aspected with my 12th house in Capricorn, which gives me, in my 12th house in Capricorn, Saturn, right? And no, Aquarius, but it's in my 12th house, right? But it's Saturn, which is Capricorn energy, which is structure, discipline, all of these things. You're for wherever you can't us humans, we got to understand how powerful Saturn is, right? Saturn is an influence that governs this realm of reality, the third dimension, the density, the dense realm where things are physical matter. Saturn rules that, okay? Saturn rules the bones, things that never break. You could find bones from a million years ago, okay? You can find dinosaur bones, all these different, the skeleton that is ruled by Saturn, okay? Density, things that are long term. So what I'm saying is, you can't run, you can't hide. You're here to do the right thing in your life. You're here to do the work. And if you found my channel, and if you're still here listening to this, I commend you, and I'm very happy to work with you one day. Like, I know that's what kind of the creator, the source of all is kind of, and my higher self agreed to in this lifetime, my many lifetimes of dealing with Saturn in this way. I'm here to help people understand life in a different way, so that they can add meaning and be appreciative for the complexity of this dimension and what it teaches the soul. Okay, so I'm going to let this video go here. I feel like I've been going on and on. And yeah, I hope it was helpful for you. If you want to get a reading with me, I'm kind of booked right now. A lot of people reached out to me regarding the synastry, and I was like, whoa, okay. So, but yeah, just know we definitely gonna do some soul work if you do choose to. And don't forget, I do have that study group coming out. I'll just keep everybody notified. Everybody I've reached back out to and let them know, like, hey, I'm gonna start it. I'm just waiting on a way and model in which I want to teach it, as well as getting the technical side of everything up and running, because it will be free. It will be of no cost to the people that I work with, and I know that that's for a short amount of time. Is for a reason. I have a study group that I want to kind of see how I could develop my skills as a facilitator in helping people, kind of guiding them to their own enlightenment, right? And so I want to use this focal group, this study group, as a outlet for me to develop my tool, right? To where when I do begin to charge for it, or it is in person, or it is a large conference, or it is a collaboration with other astrologers, or whatever this could become, then I will be, I will have the experience, because I'm already a teacher. I facilitate parent classes, all kind of things. So I have the experience in some light. But when it comes to this on an astrological level, there's a thin line between our awareness of self and our consciousness and our logical mind, and our some people that just might be very illogical, right? And they're not rational at all when it comes to making sense of complex concepts. And then that could be borderline something else, like mental health. So it's like, I'm very mindful of that. And you have to, as a spiritualist, or that's something that you take serious in life, you definitely want to grow your ability to sense that type of inconsistency in another, or that kind of problem that might be hidden. And there's some very smart people that are mass manipulators, and as a spiritualist, you have to be able to sense that. So yeah, I'm just working on that. Let me know what you think about this video in the comments below. Yeah, I hope it was helpful, or at least entertaining. But I hope you guys have a great time, or day, night, wherever you are. Take care. Peace.